where were you born and when's your birthday?
My birthday is March 18th, 1927, and I was born in Great Bend, Kansas. In western Kansas.
How did your family happen to live there?
Well, my dad was in the car business with his dad, and he couldn't get along with his dad, so they split up their partnership. And my dad went to Great Bend, and my granddad stayed in Stafford, Kansas.
Okay, so wait, your dad stayed in...
My dad went to Great Bend, and my granddad, where my dad started, was Stafford, Kansas.
Okay.
And they were Chevrolet dealers, and one of the first Buick dealers in the state of Kansas. 1908.
1908 is when they started?
Yeah.
When did cars, what year were cars?
Well, cars started, I think, in the late 1800s. I think there were some cars in the 1800s, weren't there, Rich? Few.
Steam engines.
Wow. And why did your family live in this area?
Well, they came to Stafford County, I think from Illinois, and just like everybody, they all were moving west, and I guess they decided to stay in Kansas. I don't know why, but
because Illinois wasn't flat enough.
There wasn't a hill in 50 miles.
And at the time, it was you and Aunt Marge and your mom and dad.
Well, yeah, my sister in Great Bend, my sister would have been about 3 years old, and I was just born. And we didn't live there very long.
And where did you live when you started school?
Well, when I started school, I lived in St. John, Kansas, which was a very, very small town. Yeah. And less than 2,000 people. And you knew everybody in town, everybody knew you. And that was right during the Depression was just starting.
Okay, so what year was that?
That would have been in 29 and 30. And the Depression started, and my dad went broke in Great Bend. Just about everybody did during the Depression, and so he moved to St. John, which was a small town.
What were his assets before the Great Depression?
His assets, you mean money?
Yeah, did he have a house? Did he have investments?
Well,
did he have cars?
I really don't know that much, but I know the dealership in St. John was very small, and they didn't have much. They didn't have much. Nobody had much at that time. That's when the Depression hit.
So the Depression hit when you were like 2 years old.
The Depression hit, I think, when it was about 3 years old. And I don't remember that at all.
It'd be like Kyle.
No.
Did you have any pets as a child?
Well, I love dogs and I love horses, like I do now.
What about the dog?
And I had a dog named Queenie that just was a stray that came to my house, and we took her in, a German Shepherd. And she was, I just loved her. She was a German Shepherd dog. She just came to the house and made her home there.
And you had a horse too.
I had a horse.
How did you get the horse?
Well, every horse I ever had in Kansas, we traded part of a car for a horse. You know, maybe one horse made up part of the amount of money that the car cost. And his name was Buster. He was a black and white paint.
Nice.
So back then, a car would be equal to about a horse?
No. A horse wouldn't cost over $100. And a car might run $800 or $900 fully loaded. $800 or $900.
Yeah, what was fully loaded?
Radio
4
and heater.
wheels.
That was a loaded car.
Radio and what?
Heater.
Radio?
They didn't have power steering. They didn't
4
have,
wheels.
They didn't have anything.
But they did have radio.
Loaded, it's
They
right.
had radio.
You got a top and bottom.
No cell phone.
Didn't have cell phones.
A motor.
Didn't have seatbelts.
9207. Who's that?
That's you.
Who told me?
I don't
We don't know.
Hello? Hey, I'm right in the middle of something very important. Can I call you back later? I've got my whole family here. What did you want?
Usually when it's important, you don't pick up.
I just wanted to call. I wanted to answer the phone to let you know I don't want to talk.
I don't care. Okay, bye.
How did you get along with your parents as a kid?
Well, I got along with my parents pretty well. My dad was strict, and if we did anything that he thought was out of line, he had a big belt, and he used it. And you knew when he pulled that belt out, you knew you had it coming. I mean, he didn't do it unfairly. You knew you had it coming, and you just took it. And I mean, it hurt. My mom was just the sweetest you could be, and she talked things over, and my dad never talked things over much. He just used the belt.
Do I talk?
So,
And do you remember, oh, this is a stupid question, your parents' names, of course. Do you know where they were born?
yeah, they were both born in Stafford, Kansas. Again, that's a town, probably about 2,000. It might have been a little bit bigger than St. John. It was about 10 miles from St. John. They were about 10 miles apart.
So not far.
Yeah.
And did they come here from another country? If so, where?
No, they came from the Midwest, I'd say Illinois and that. Their parents, one of them was, one grandmother was from Germany.
Like
From Germany.
On grandmother's Vestana side?
Yeah.
So Vestana's grandparents were from Germany?
Yeah.
And did they come over here from Germany to the United States and they were immigrants?
They would have been immigrants, yeah. Not knows more about that.
And what about Clyde's side?
They came from, I think we originated from Scotland. Is that right?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar from what we've all talked about. I understand that we were kings and queens in Scotland. And we sure weren't that in Kansas.
And was that granddad's
Johnson.
grandparents or granddad's?
Well, I really don't know. In the 1700s.
Oh, 1700.
When did it go from Johnston to Johnson?
You know, I don't
Did
know.
it ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Johnston.
Was Johnson?
I think in the 1700s, something like that, it went to Johnson.
That's when they came over to the United States, they changed that.
Yep.
Is
Johnston
this true?
sounded too
Is
foreign.
that true about the kings and queens in Scotland? Or you're just
Yeah.
joking?
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding, okay.
No.
Castle is
Why don't we have a vacation there?
Why don't we have some benefits for the kings and queens?